To most of the world, Christopher Reeve was Superman. But to our next guest, yes, he was. Yes, he was. But to our next guest, he was also Dad. Now, in the new primetime docu-special, Will Reeve, Finding My Father, ABC News correspondent Will Reeve takes us on an epic and emotional journey, retracing his father's final adventure before he became paralyzed. Take a look.
It's playful exuberance now, but they're getting ready for the unforgiving open ocean. It's moving to watch. It feels familiar. Dad may have been injured, but we were not broken. Our life at home was full of joy and laughter and play.
Please welcome ABC News correspondent Will Reeve.
Hey, thank you. Hi, everyone. I feel like Susan Lucci here. Welcome. It's nice to see you all. Thanks for having me back.
It's great to have you here, Will.
Thank you.
So this project is something you've been dreaming about doing for 30 years.
Yeah.
Tell everybody the backstory and how it came full circle for you.
Sure. So 30 years ago, my dad, Christopher Reeve, in the last thing he ended up filming before he became paralyzed, did this documentary that took him to the furthest reaches of Alaska, like right near Siberia, actually, and down to this remote lagoon in Mexico, following the migration of the Pacific gray whale, which feels a little bit random, but he loved nature, he loved adventure, and he turned it into this documentary that, once he became paralyzed, became sort of a window for me into a world that I was sort of robbed of access to, because he was injured when I was so young, and I didn't get to experience him as you knew him, Whoopi, as this dynamic, adventurous, like, guy moving through the world. I had a different version of him, but I would always watch this with him to learn about him, and I needed to go back and see for myself and complete the circle that he had started to draw for me.
Yeah. Well, Will, you were only 2 years old when your dad became paralyzed and 12 when he passed because of complications. Talk to us about the process of following him and his kind of final footsteps on this journey. And was there anything you learned about your dad while recreating his footsteps?
Well, the major thing here was I didn't know what I was going to find. I assumed I would see some whales and some rugged terrain and bring a camera and figure out what we got as we went. And hopefully it would turn into something compelling for the final product. And what I learned was how much of an impact he had on the people, the local people there, who remembered him from 30 years ago.
Wow.
He visited them for a week or two at a time, but he left this lasting impact, not just because he was a famous movie star, Superman, but because he engaged with them and he saw them for who they were and became a part of their culture for a brief moment of time. And I found the sons of the men who took my dad around in each place, and I had them as my guides this time around, which really, we leaned into the connectivity of it all.
Yeah. Well, there is a sense of connection that really shines in this special, whether it's the home movies you share with your late mom and dad, or the people you meet in these remote corners of the world, as you mentioned, who also knew him. Now, some of the whales you saw up close on this could have been the same whales your dad saw 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So what was it like to kind of be splashing around right next to them and touching one just like he did?
Right, it was magical is the easiest way to describe it. Yeah, these whales can live, the gray whale can live up to, they found one that was 70 years old, like they can live for decades. And so just by doing the math, there's a chance that some of these whales were in this lagoon in Mexico 30 years ago. We'll never know, but it's kind of nice to have that mystery of, oh, maybe I'm connected to you through space and time as well. And then getting to reach out and touch one has been a lifelong goal of mine since I knew that it was possible through my dad's documentary. And in this lagoon in Mexico, in San Ignacio, these whales, it's their nursery. They raise their calves. They are curious. They'll come up to the boat and let you touch them, and that was a lifetime achievement for me because it was really cool, but also because my dad did it. And a lot of what I do in my life, I'm trying to emulate my dad and my mom, and so far so good, I guess.
Well, the symbolism of it all, you mentioned it's a nursery with their calves, and you were your parents' calf. Coming back around, were there moments where you felt kind of particularly connected to your dad since that was something you'd watched with him and knew he'd been there.
Yeah, I think we spoke about this a little bit the last time I was on here to promote a totally different documentary about my dad. It's sort of the Renaissance right now. We got a lot going on. But
I like that.
everything I do, I feel a connection to them because they instilled their values in me. So as I move through the world, I'm representing myself, I'm representing my family, I'm representing my parents. And so I feel a connection all the time. But being in these specific places, there is an energy there. And there was also a moment, I will say, I'm not big on like signs necessarily, but this is evidence to the contrary. We're there, the director is asking me and Pancho, who was our guide, the son of my dad's guide, going, do you feel a connection to your fathers out here in the lagoon? And Pancho starts going, yeah, you know, I do. I really feel it. And I'm there going like, nah, I don't know. Like, it's just pretty cool. Like, I'm here trying to figure it all out. As I say that, a mother and a calf surface next to me, like from Joy to me away. I'm in a boat, thankfully, and they come up and then go right underneath. I go, okay, yep, got it, understood. Hello, Dad. Here we are.
That's so beautiful. That is so beautiful. Wow.
That's funny.
Might have been your mom.
Yeah, it could have been both, and I like to say, I see they are a package deal to me.
Yes, they are.
So that's-
Well, congratulations on the BAFTA that you won for that documentary that you were here
thank
for the
you.
last.
Yeah, this is the beginning of the journey was on The View, and then the ending was in
Congratulations.
London. Thank you. A lot of fun.
You know, you're all right, Will Reeve.
Thank you, Whoopi Goldberg. I appreciate that.
His primetime special, Will Reeve, Finding My Father, airs tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern on ABC and streams the next day on Hulu. Y'all got that? Yeah. Okay.